Welcome to Med Spa Secrets. I'm Ben Chew.
And I'm Jen Bullock.
And today we want to talk to you guys all about what seems like the hottest new trend in the med spa industry, which is medically assisted weight loss with injections, though. So, it's not cool sculpting, it's not bariatric surgery or the weight loss of the past. It's all of these new peptides and stuff,
Yes,
Jen?
absolutely. So one of the biggest things that has hit the market probably in the last 10 years is the addition of the GLP-1 peptides. So a lot of people have seen Ozempic and Wegovy. Those are your brand name medications of semaglutide and tirzepatide. But what we've seen really is an opportunity open up in the last year and a half for compounded forms of those medications. This has been really cool to be able to offer, but what we're seeing is really incredible opportunities for patients to get really great results, but also for providers to be able to put together some really cool programs. Now, I've seen these things implemented really poorly, and I've seen them implemented really gracefully. I personally, as a provider, waited a long time to try it. We've all seen the HCG fads and stuff like that come and go. A lot of really heavy weight loss that happened, and then people stopped and they gained all their weight back. There's been, the phentermines. There's been all kinds of things that have been out there, but the peptides are really exciting because when done well, patients get incredible weight loss, 10 to 15 pounds a month, and then it's sustainable when it's done appropriately.
Now, and then there have been other things in the past that have kind of marketed themselves, right, as injectable weight loss, like the skinny shot, which is kind of like a souped up B vitamin. But this is not that, right?
No, not at all. Not at all. What semaglutide is it's a peptide, and it does three things. It slows gastric emptying, so when a person takes it, it slows everything down, the food stays in their system longer, they fill up faster. The second thing it does is it turns off ghrelin, which ghrelin is a hunger hormone, and it is what drives people to consume more calories than their body needs to stay fed. It was very helpful, hundreds of years ago when we were hunting and gathering, going out and getting, high calorie dense stuff to stock up for winter, but in this day and age it still gets out of whack from stress and all kinds of things, and it's really what drives people to snack in the evening on sugars and chips and all of the carb dense things. Now, the third thing that semaglutide does, which is really what's so incredible, is that it works like glucagon, which gets released from the liver when patients are or when anybody is having activities of it's what keeps you from starving to death if you get stuck out in the middle of the forest and you don't have anything to eat or drink. It goes out and it breaks down your stored fat for energy. Now, the thing about semaglutide is that if it's done appropriately, safely, with a really targeted nutrition, you'll see people who will lose on average about 3 to 4 pounds a week, and they'll be healthy doing it, right? So, we've all seen all of these crazy weight loss fads where people, they muscle waist, they lose their hair, things like that. And absolutely, if done inappropriately, you can see that with these patients as well. But when done appropriately, people get really good results. You're able to utilize the body's natural cycles of weight loss and get really effective weight loss while staying healthy, which I think is super important.
Yeah, and it is just blown up on the med spa scene. I see so many different med spas offering it, dermatologists offering it,
everybody.
Cool sculpting places adding it on to their portfolio of services. I see all kinds of different advertising agencies now offering different advertising packages to bring in semaglutide patients into practices. So, why is it so popular, all of a sudden?
Well, because it's what's hot. You've got your social media, you've got your TikTok, it's all over the place. So everybody wants a little piece of it. The problem is, though, there is a lot of people out there that are not offering it in a safe or effective way. I see people all the time, and myself personally, the reason why I got so passionate about semaglutide is I tried it myself under the supervision of another provider, and I had every terrible thing that could possibly happen. I ended up overdosed because they changed the concentration of the medication and didn't, tell me, so I took the same dose, and it was 2.5 times the amount. I had no nutrition guidance. I ended up really sick, all of the side effects. I wasn't given any of the supportive care that helps people with the most common stuff. And so I was like, wow, okay, I can see how this medication could be incredible. I could see how it could really change a lot of people's life, but it needs to be done differently. And so I went back to the drawing board and utilized a lot of our skills and experience from, being in health and fitness, and was able to put together a program that's worked really well. And I put myself through it. and then 10 patients and friends, and just to ensure that it was going to work, not just for me but for other people. And have been utilizing that in our practice now for over a year, which has been really, really cool. And for us, we've brought in well over $100,000 in just a few months utilizing this program. It's awesome because it's super easy to attract people to it. A lot of people have heard of it, right? A lot of people are looking for it.
Yeah, I think, one of the things that, makes it super attractive to a lot of spas and other non-spa practices even is definitely that sort of ease of acquiring patients for it right now.
Yeah.
It's like super easy to get leads for it, even if you're not really like advertising it like hardcore. If you just kind of put out the word a little bit, it seems to be that patients are flocking to all of these practices. And I see some kind of key points, if you will, that I think really kind of account for that. It's that you're really like not asking the patient to like do a whole lot. And traditionally, weight loss is seen as like hard or difficult for people, and it's a super sexy offer to be like, well, you don't really have to do much. You just have to get this shot. And then all you really have to do is not eat as much, but you're also going to feel like not eating as much because of the shot.
Yes.
And then it works. So that is like just super attractive for your average consumer.
Yes.
And especially for the avatar of the person that meets that kind of like female med spa service consumer, because the average American woman, these are stats that I learned back in the gym industry, attempts to lose weight 4 to 5 times a year. So if you kind of add in the fact that that the consumer that you're targeting is already trying to lose weight 4 to 5 times a year, and then you just have this super sexy offer that really doesn't take a whole lot of effort, right? They don't have to be killing themselves in the gym. They don't have to be like doing weird diets, like only eating 500 calories of boiled eggs a day or something like random like that. I think another thing that is super attractive about it is that it doesn't necessarily have a super high workload to fulfill, right? The patients are coming into the office for like that initial intake. Maybe they're doing some blood work. Then they're being shown how to use the medication and like administer it themselves at home. And then you're basically just checking in with them. And like, that's really not nearly as labor intensive as, doing a whole bunch of laser hair removal on somebody or a profound microneedling RF facelift or any of the other kind of like higher ticket labor intensive services. So like, there's kind of this ease of use for the patient, but also this ease of use for the providers, which I think is really snowballing the overall popularity.
I think so too. I mean, the very first time that we introduced it, I just kind of threw it into a presentation that we were doing at an event we were already going to be doing. And right then and there, like probably a third of the room came and signed up for it. And I was like, oh, okay. Anytime we make a single post on social media or send out an email, there's, just massive response. People are asking questions about it. They're like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize you did it. I mean, it is the easiest thing to draw patients for. And, even patients talk about how simple it is for them. A lot of clinics, I think, have these, where they have to come in once a week and they do their injections. For our practice, we teach them how to do everything at home, and then they just have to come in once a month for some kind of a follow-up. We do almost everything through like a telemedicine sort of scenario, as far as like their check-ins and things like that. They love it. It's easy for me. I mean, it has been probably one of the quickest ways to make money in our practice that I've come across in a really long time.
Yeah, I think that if you have a solid program for it, you're definitely, it's an easy and relatively fast sort of way to just pop another 6-figure line item of revenue into your business. And depending on like how far you want to take it, you could definitely hit 7 figures with it if you had enough providers that you just wanted to focus on solely that offer. And I could see it happening very quickly, especially if you were just a like weight loss focused business.
Yeah.
You kind of mentioned a little bit earlier though, like there's all these great things, right? Like it's easy to get patients, it's relatively easy to do the program in terms of fulfillment, it's really good revenue, but there are definitely some problems out there too. And I think that when there's something really sexy like this and there's a lot of, money out in the market, people kind of rush out to get into it maybe a little bit too quickly.
Right.
And then there's kind of these pitfalls and problems that you experienced with the provider that you initially did it with as a patient. And then I know you've talked to a number of other providers and med spas that are implementing programs in their businesses, and they're running into these pitfalls with fulfillment. So can you maybe talk a little bit about like what pitfalls to like watch out for and avoid, and to make sure that you don't have in a program if you're going to be somebody who does do semaglutide in their practice?
Well, I think there's a few things. Semaglutide and tirzepatide can be really dangerous if you don't understand how they work. It's important to have the appropriate supply chain for it, being able to have the right consent forms, being able to screen the right patients. Not everybody's a good candidate. And, there is a lot more education out there than there used to be, but a lot of times some of the most challenging things that are going to occur in your practice with these patients is going to happen based on how well you're screening and the willingness your willingness to actually go through and make sure that your patients are appropriate, that you are, providing all of the resources that they're going to need to be successful, and then just dialing into having the right resources available for you as a practitioner, support for you as a practitioner, and then, all of the scripts and medications that your patients are going to need to be successful.
Right, and like some of those resources might look like maybe like different plans for how they might be eating in conjunction with taking the medication.
Yes.
Maybe recommendations for like movement and exercise.
Exactly.
But nothing too extreme, right?
No, not at all. I mean, the thing is semaglutide is a tool just like any other weight loss tool, and the goal is to provide a plan for patients so that they can lose weight safely, effectively, efficiently, and then maintain it when they're done, right? And that's really, what we've worked on providing for our patients.
That's awesome. And it's worked well for us, and, we definitely want to see it work well for other people too, but it's important to kind of watch out for those pitfalls, make sure you don't fall into them when you're trying to rush into this amazing new opportunity and add this other line item into your spa. Quick, hard segue, you may notice that we're not filming in our usual location in the front office of the med spa itself. We're actually in the process of trying to put together a super cool studio to film all of the episodes in, and in the meantime, we have this janky little backdrop. So that's why you're not, if you're somebody who is watching the podcast rather than just listening, that's what's up. If you're listening, obviously it doesn't matter one way or the other to you, so sorry to waste your time kind of describing the background to you, but that's what's going on behind us. So we're going to sign off here, but real quick, if you're somebody that is interested in adding semaglutide to your practice, but you don't really necessarily know how to go about it, you don't want to have to learn about and go through all of the struggles and pitfalls and stuff on your own, and you just want a easy plug and play, add semaglutide to your practice, we actually had Jen go ahead and put together a little educational program on how she's done what she's done to add semaglutide to the practice and how you can do it too. So if you want just kind of a quick, easy plug-and-play course on how you too can be adding semaglutide, go ahead and check out the link down below on the bottom of the podcast in the description, and you too can enjoy the benefits both physically and financially of adding semaglutide. And we'll see you next one, guys.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.